Hello and welcome to Beyond the Plate with Carol, where we will explore food and a little beyond. So come along with me on this journey and see what we uncover. Welcome to Beyond the Plate with Carol at the studio at the Beacon. We are at 814 Elm Street, right in downtown Manchester. And today I am with the director of operations. What is the, is there like a blanket company on the top? I mean, Hanover Street Chop House,
Yep.
But then there's the Crown Tavern, then there's the kitchen on River Road. Is there a...
So it's basically Chop Scotch Hospitality,
Ooh.
like the mothership.
Okay.
And then below there, Townsend Hospitality. And then, you have the Chop House, Crown, and then Kitchen on River Road, which is our operating companies that you see the brands and you go there. And
His name is Justin Clutter. You're Steve's son.
yes,
I am just fascinated by this. I think this is great. So obviously you grew up in the business. I mean, tell me your story. Tell me how, because your dad has had Chop House for quite a few years.
yeah.
So when did you enter? How did you enter? Did you already enter earlier when you were younger? I want to hear your story.
Well, we grew up, all right. I spent some time in New Jersey when my dad was working as a chef in New York City. That's pretty much all he did for my entire childhood was cooking. And so I would hear the stories. And when I would go to C.R. Sparks, back when he was at C.R. Sparks, I would sit at the pizza bar. And
You must have been little.
3-4 years old. And it's crazy because a lot of those guys that are in the kitchen still, I'm working with them now. Ben Chalmella, Derek Stearns, Stuart Cameron, working with them every single day. And they've known me since I was 3 years old, just getting kitchen tours, hanging out with them. Even some of the servers that are at the Chop House, they've known me for that long.
That's a testament to your dad, really. I mean, you must be about the same age as my son. How old are you?
I'm 29.
Okay, my son's 30. I'll be 31 next week. So you're right. And same thing, grew up at the Red Arrow. I mean, literally was born at the Red Arrow. I mean, not literally, but you know what I mean?
And from there, I tried to do my own thing. I went to school. I got an economics degree with a concentration in math. And so I thought I wanted to be a Wall Street guy and not do the restaurant business because
your dad probably told you not to.
Exactly. And so I tried that for a little bit, but I was still working part-time at the restaurants, whether it was food running, valeting, hosting. When someone called out, I was usually the one that they would call and be like, yeah, I'll come by and do whatever you need to do. So it wasn't until pretty much COVID that we had a lot of conversations about me coming in and just starting to look at the books, because we do the books in-house, and we had a great Anne-Marie who was great. She was doing the books on her own. But as we were continuing to expand, it got to a point that she needed help. And so I came there around 2020 full time, which was a terrible time to come into the restaurant business. But
horrible
to see the behind the scenes of what goes into running a restaurant as a business is so invaluable, because, you can be the best chef in the world or the best people person in the world, but if you don't know what a balance sheet is or create a budget or anything like that, you can't be successful. So to see that side of it is so invaluable for me. And I think in the operation, to keep, someone that has the background of numbers and
right.
be able to, I work the floor almost every night, so I can see both sides of it. And it's like every little transaction that's recorded. And so for us to keep it all in house is really, really important. It saves a lot of money too.
We do the same thing at the diners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We try to outsource it, and it didn't work because the accountant wasn't there every day. So they don't know those little things. And if you just decide to put this over here when it really shouldn't be, then you're going to find that mistake.
You're moving things and don't know what you're doing. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. So we have a really good team now that it's pretty much streamlined, that I can basically now focus on what I want to do is continue to expand. We have a food truck coming in August.
I think I did hear that.
Yeah.
I think that's exciting.
Yeah.
Did you just see his face light up, you guys? Your face just totally lit up with that. That is cool. So talk to me about that.
So we decided it's something that we've always wanted to do. There's quite a few food trucks in the area, but we wanted to do something that was on brand. So when we got the kitchen, you can tell that the kitchen is part of like our brand.
Totally. You walk in, it gives you the vibe of both mixed together.
It's the child of like the Crown, and the Crown is the child of the Chop House.
Totally.
So we wanted to build something, and there wasn't a lot of options for just buying a food truck. So we decided to build it from scratch. So we got this, there's this company down in South Carolina that is called Guerrilla Fabrications, and they basically build these food trucks from old farm trucks. So we have I believe it's a 1956 F100. So it's scrapped down to just the frame. And then they go and say, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to do pizza oven? Do you want to do, La Plancha? So we decided to go the pizza route. So basically kind of playing off of the Crown and off of the kitchen. And so it will have a pizza oven, it will have beer taps, and then,
So cool.
When we do something, it's like we go all in. So we do all this research.
Do it right.
So we go down to South Carolina and meet with these guys multiple times. We went out to Denver to this company, Mountain Crust Pizza, that has 5 of them. And so we went out to them and they kind of showcased their trucks for us to see how it worked, any difficulties that they have, how much staff do you need to do these parties? Do you need a commissary kitchen? So we're doing all this research so that we can just hit the ground running once it finally comes, because they said June, but it is now August, pretty much.
It always happens, right?
So yeah, it will be here in August, and we're going to we'll just see what happens. We're probably going to park it on the Crown lawn, and just kind of do friends and family, kind of show it off.
Cool.
And see how it goes from there.
I mean, out in the back.
Out in the back. If it fits, obviously. But part of the job is like the manager on the floors. A lot of it is networking with people to make sure that that's all about hospitality. Is when they come in, you know their name, that you know what they do, you know a little bit of their background, and you go from there. And so for us, we already have all these business owners lined up that want to have our food truck at their business or their kid's wedding. Or
Isn't
whatever
it so cool? Like these pop-ups, what they do, it's just so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it benefits everybody. I mean, it really does. It's very cool.
Yeah. And that's what, it's all about for us is all about hospitality. I think that my dad's ingrained it into everyone. His hero, Danny Myers from New York City. I read his book. I believe it's called Setting the Table. And there's so many important pieces in that book that he teaches about hospitality, what it means to have a business that's, centered around hospitality. And there's things that you do, and you don't do, as far as hospitality goes. And that's pretty much what our Bible is. And then, we have meetings every single day with the staff, and it's just, how can we, you can have the best service, Chop House, where we look fancy, where we got ties on, we got these, butler jackets on, but that's all great. The service part is mostly a monologue of just steps of service. But if you don't have a dialogue with the customers, they're probably never going to come back, because they're spending a lot of money and you're just kind of a scribe, right? You're just writing down their order. What do you want? Can I get you anything else? What sets us apart, I think, that is we create that dialogue with people and just find some way to have a connection with them and make them feel heard. And from there, they might not remember the steak or the mashed potatoes or the bacon wrapped scallops, but they'll remember the server.
Yeah,
they'll remember
the conversation. I have to speak to that because, I say that to my husband every time we go to the Crown. In the Chop House, I always ask a question near the end, which I will ask you the same question, your favorite place to eat, and then I share mine, and mine is the Crown.
Thank you.
I talk about it all the time. And Zach over there is I've said it to my husband so many times. I'm like, how does he remember our names? Like, he makes it a point to come over. Carol, Daryl, how are you? How can you forget Carol and Daryl? But that's besides the point. It just always and the bartenders, we love the bartenders, and we're like bar people. We go and we sit at the bars. But you are so right. I mean, that goes a long, long way. I'm actually speaking with Zach next week.
Really?
Yeah. Love him. And I can't wait to hear his story.
We've been working together since we were 15, 16. We were bussers at the Chop House.
Yeah,
together.
I've heard that.
And we went to high school
and went
together.
right up the ladder.
And that's what we want. It's a testament, like you said before, with Stuart and Ben that are in the kitchen. They've been there for so long. you take care of them because you can see that they have like everything they do, it has soul, they put their soul in every single dish that they put out. And so they have the interest of making this operation succeed.
Right. Making it better every day. My dad says, did you make it better today? That's his motto. He sits up in the office up there and even has a plaque. We got him a plaque. Did you make it better today?
Right.
When you walk into one of the diners or establishments, and it's very important. And you treat them right and they want to stay and they want to make it better.
Right. And, we see that, they've been here for so long, but eventually they're going to have to retire. So for me, the most important of my job is to find the next generation that will stay with us for 30 years. And the same thing with Zach. His end goal is to open up his own restaurant. And I love that because I want to help him because I want to open up my own restaurant as well. And so we can do it together and I can show him, he doesn't know the accounting side of it. And that's super important. So we have all these skills to show, our employees, if they really want to get into this business, we are the right people to work with to get them to that next point.
Support them. I mean, Other people would be like, well, you can't open up your own business because you work for me. Like, it's like you gotta, I love that. And that's how we do it too. I mean, that's the right way. I mean, it's good.
Right. Yeah. We, as far as him at the Crown, and now we have Matt Croto at the Chop House that's doing the managing at the Chop House with me. He's great as well because he was a server, and the customer service background for him is so strong.
Promoting from within, and so amazing.
And now he's like, I don't have to worry about getting people's orders or anything like that. I can just schmooze around and make sure that people are having a great time, and that's what it's all about. Is I go to a lot of restaurants and I rarely have the manager come over to my table.
Right.
Which either I don't see them at all or they just, they're in the background. And for us, it's like you have to make a point to go to every single table. Even if it's say hi, if it's a first date and you can see that's a little awkward, just say hi.
Exactly.
Just say hi, how's the appetizer?
Exactly.
But that's how we meet our people. It's not just because like we knew them before. Everyone has their own VIP list, and it's just from creating a conversation, and they let you in. And once they let you in, it's like boom, you remember their name. The next time you come in or they come in, you say, well, how's it been since?
Zach will remember that we were heading to the Seacoast or something, and he'll ask the next time, "How was it at the Seacoast?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? I don't remember that."
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good.
It's the little things.
It is.
It's the little things because I always say to Zach and to Matt, the food will always be there. We have a great staff with the food, but it's so important to keep that level of service up because there's a lot of restaurants going into the city and there are already a lot of restaurants.
Crazy.
So, and that's a great thing. Healthy competition is a great thing in this city.
Competition only makes you better. My dad always says that. And it's true.
For us, it's like, what can we do just a little bit better, a little bit more consistent? And for us, it's just the service. And it comes from just hiring the right people, honestly. Being very selective. Hiring these days is so scary.
It is.
Because
especially since COVID. Gosh.
You never know. They might be great during the interview, but once you really learn who they are, it's like,
you know what I used to do way back? Because I've been at my Manchester location. I've owned it since 1987. You probably weren't even, I know you weren't born yet. So I bought it when I was 23. And I always hired on trial. I mean, I learned that. I didn't do that right away. I learned that. But always hired on trial, like 2-week trial. And I always say to them, it's not just if I'm going to like you, it's if you're going to like it here as well. And, when they hear that side of it, they're kind of like, oh, okay, because you might not be a good fit. I mean, and it goes both ways, and it just kind of levels it down a little bit. And I mean, when I would hire line cooks and they couldn't even hold a spatula after they say they've done it and it's like, come on, so kind of gives you that little bit of an open end. But yeah, it's difficult. It is very difficult.
And it's all voluntary. It's, you don't have to be at work. You're choosing to be at work. So when you're here for, serving, you're here for 5-6 hours, you're voluntarily being here. So you got to act like you want to be here because if you are, I always say I use the Palace Theater as a reference. Those actors are on stage and people are paying money to see them, not who they are off the stage, but who they are on the stage.
Right.
And for us as servers or for the management, for those 5 hours,
they're on stage.
And we can't break that.
I love that analogy.
Once we break it, we lose, and we just can't lose. And if you decide you have a bad day, and we get a bad review from that, it's not necessarily not be calling out you personally, but it's going to be on the business that you represent. So everyone's representing something bigger than themselves when they're here. And that's what I, tell everyone. It's like, just when you're here, you're on stage, you can't break it, because we all face adversity during the shift, but it's how we react to that adversity, which makes us so strong. It's like, you're making all these drinks, you're super busy, but you just got to keep on going, because it's not going to last, right? We're all going to go home, and we're all going to do it again the next day. So you just got to remember that, and then be like, oh yeah, I was super busy yesterday, but we made it through. So now I know I don't have to look like I'm in the weeds, super stressed. I can just take a deep breath. We're going to get through it, ask for help, and we move on.
Right. And you are wise beyond your years. No, you really are.
It's all from learning from real experiences that we've been burned for, and then looking back at it and be like, how can we do this differently next time so we can learn and be better? Because everyone makes mistakes,
of course.
But it's what you do with those mistakes is what makes you so much better. So it's addicting. The restaurant industry it's like a game that you play, and you always want to win. But there's so many different periods during the night that you just got to win and get through, and then, have a breather and then get through the next one, and then you do it all again. It's a high.
It is. It totally is. It definitely is. And it takes a special person. And, so we've been talking about the hospitality end of it and how important it is. So let's delve into, and we're going to do all three, like Hanover Street Chop House. So for those of you that are tuning in, that are listening and watching or both or whatever, well, both. Yes, of course. Walk someone into Hanover Street Chop House if they've never been there. Shame on you if you haven't, but you got to go there at least once for a special occasion. I mean, you just got to. I mean, my husband and I love it there. I'll tell you my favorite food there too. But so walk us. Even you have to start from driving up.
Sure. Yeah.
So walk someone through what they're going to experience when they come into Hanover Street Chop House.
Not many people are used to valet. That's a thing that one sets us apart, but also is a nice convenience for really anyone, that you can just drive up to the front door, especially when it's snowing,
I love it.
When it's raining out. We're obviously not in the best part of Manchester. So for you to just be able to get out of your car, walk through the front door, and then, feel like you're not in Manchester anymore. It's more of like a Chicago style steakhouse. Yeah. It's the same designer as the Capitol Grill. And so you get in there, it's kind of old school, old time steakhouse.
Dark wood, little lamps. I mean, it's very cozy. Yes.
Yep. And then, we have a great host team. Lucy Witt has been with me for probably 5 years now. And she's only 22, and she understands the hospitality industry, because that's the best position to learn from, is the host, interacting with all the people, because for her, she knows more people than me just from hosting, because it's you're this now.
She's meeting like every single person pretty much that walks into the door,
and it's so important, because if you start the guest experience off on the wrong foot, it is so hard to rebound from there. So it starts with the valet being polite and just whatever it takes, holding the door for the passenger, and then they walk in the door, and then it's not like, it's what's your name and what time is your reservation. It's, are we celebrating anything tonight? Oh my gosh, 25 years anniversary. Congratulations. Where did you get married? Like, thank you for coming in and choosing us. And then from there, it's like, people are more relaxed. It's like, okay, it's an expensive restaurant, high class, but these are normal people that just want to create a connection with us. And then we bring you to your table. And then from there, most of the servers there have been there for at least 5 years. I would say the average tenure there is probably for servers 10 years. So they know.
They're all pretty much the same faces. You're right. Yeah.
They know what they're doing. And so we want you to escape from your life for 2 hours, because everyone deals with stuff in their life. But when you're at the Chop House or even the Crown, you want to feel like you're the only person in there, and your server is your best friend. And that's from there. It's easy.
Yep. Let's talk about the menu.
So we just changed our menu. I would say probably a month ago. We changed it with the seasons, obviously. And my favorite is the burrata. I think that we use local honeycomb, grande burrata, imperial ham, all these ingredients that once you put them on a nice slice of warm baguette, it's like, how can you not enjoy that?
I like your lavash bread.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like my favorite. But yes, everything. I mean,
and it all starts like, it's not like we just decide, okay, at 5:00, we're ready to go. It's like the pastry team comes in at 9 a.m. They start cooking all those breads and all the pastries and all the desserts. And then, then the prep cooks come in at 1 and then they're prepping everything. It's like, it takes an army to put together what you think is a relatively simple menu, because steaks are steaks, right? It's not that, creative to what we're doing, but we got to make sure that we're using the best ingredients and we're making everything from scratch.
My favorite thing that I start with, I get the crab cocktail. That is that, or lately it's been that because it's, the seasons, but steak tartare too.
I can't go wrong.
Oh, love it. Love it. Love it. And love that you have the bar menu back too.
So for when I started really diving deep into the Chop House was around December, because I was mostly at the Crown. I spent a lot of my time at the Crown, and I see a lot of my VIPs at the Crown would not go to the Chop House because it was too expensive, but they would go to the Crown twice a week. So I was like, okay, I want to get you guys over to the Chop House, not just for your special occasions once or twice a year. I want you, it's a Tuesday night. What do we want to do? Let's just go sit at the bar at the Chop House and not spend a bunch of money and just get a couple light bites and just have a good time.
Perfect.
And to draw those people into the bar, because we used to be reservation only at the bar.
That just happened with COVID though, right? I mean, had to pivot and, everybody did.
Turned into this giant monster of people then being used to getting their same seats every single time. It's too intimidating to walk in and be like, oh, it's reservation only. I'm never coming back.
Right.
I'm never going to get a seat. So we decided to rip the Band-Aid off and go with,
that was a good move.
It's a real bar.
Yeah.
And now it's a real bar with a separate menu. And, go from there. And for us, it's been a huge trial and error with a bar menu to see what works and what doesn't work, because it is a big lift for us during service to have a separate menu.
Right.
We tried to use ingredients that we already have, but to just pivot during service when you're busy, then all of a sudden, you're cooking a steak sandwich or a burger.
It's different.
It can get hectic, but to give the people the other option. Also, I want to get the younger generation into the Chop House, because I was seeing that it's a lot of the older generation at the Chop House, because one, it's intimidating, it's expensive, but we're just normal people doing normal stuff, and we want to have the younger generation there to set up the next, round of VIPs. Because my dad said, he's like, a lot of my VIPs when I started are now dead.
It's true. It's so true.
And so I'm like, okay. And, a lot of the people he's met and now are my VIPs are in their late 60s, 70s. I tell my girlfriend every day, it's like, my friends are in their 50s, 60s, and 70s because of the Chop House.
Yeah. So that new...
We need the new generation. And for how do we get there? It's changing our cocktail program. It's changing the menu to be not Instagrammable, but to, people, they take a picture of it, they put it on their Instagram story. They might have 1,000 followers. That's 1,000 people of free advertising for us. It starts with just kind of revolving, because if you don't revolve, or evolve, you're gonna be lost. You're gonna be scratching your head and say what happened. It's like we got complacent. We just kept on doing the same thing over and over.
You always have to, you have to flip it around every so often and change things up and keep people on their toes. They come in and they're like, oh, okay, this is cool. I mean, it keeps people wondering and coming back, like you said.
Right. Everything is getting so expensive. It's so expensive to go out to eat. And so it's harder and harder to show your value these days to people and say, there's a reason why we're charging this price. It's not because we're making a ton of money. It's really not.
They all think that.
It's a crazy expensive restaurant to run.
Yeah.
If I would go open up another restaurant, it would not be a steakhouse. It would not. It's something similar to the Crown. But I think it's important for the city to have a steakhouse in there because, we have a lot of people here that honestly, they come to the Chop House 2-3 times a week because they're entertaining clients and they want to see, when they're flying clients in, they want to show off their city. And so how do they do that? They bring them to the best, what they think is the best restaurant,
right.
Or the fanciest restaurant. And then that will have, hopefully, have them win their business over and have them come back and continue. So, it's bigger than just, steaks.
Right. Before we move on to the Crown, I would be amiss if because my husband even said to me, I told him who I was talking to today, and we actually talked about it last night. He goes, you need to ask him about what. And I'm like, I definitely will. The one thing and they're actually very good because, well, spit it out, Carol. You always had on the menu, it was the old bar menu, but you always had the burger with the foie gras.
Oh, yeah.
That was like my brother. We ate that like all the time.
Really?
But you do have it sometimes. You can ask, and sometimes the chef will have foie gras.
Yeah, we do. I would say like every other week we have like a special, and we usually put it on the steak. We usually do a steak special, or we'll make it into this.
You gotta do it with
butter.
I would go in. Oh my gosh, that was like
that's noted.
Die for.
And that's what we need. We're always listening to see what people
and I
want.
can see that, so I had to get that in.
Of course,
I had to.
We usually always have
Text
it in house.
me.
Yeah, we always have it in house. It's whether we've been getting more creative. Our sous chef is very creative. So if it's just a steak, we'll do like a special Kansas City strip. We'll put it in barbecue sauce, and then we'll do a side of cornbread, and we'll do our own, potato salad.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not used to seeing that at the steakhouse. It's barbecue. And then, we have a great pantry cook named Solveig. She makes empanadas that are crazy good, and we'll run them as a special. It's like, are we a steakhouse or a Mexican restaurant? But people, they'll sell out in an hour and a half.
It's different. It's something different. And it's good. I'm sure it's next level empanadas too, I'm sure.
It's just being creative and having a little bit of fun of it and not being stuffy and be like, no, we only do clam chowder and lobster bisques here. Sorry. We want to include
being creative.
Everyone. So everyone has their own special that they can run because we have a lot of talented people back there.
Yep.
And so we want to make sure that they feel like they're included and they have some kind of part in the menu and the success of the restaurant.
Right. So let's walk into the Crown.
Yeah.
Walk someone into the Crown who, people hear me say it all the time, is Daryl's and mine favorite place to go. Consistent. The chef is so nice too. I mean, he's been there for a few years, the chef at the Crown.
Yeah. So Stuart is our executive chef for the operations. He's been at the Crown for quite a while. I mean, he's been working with my dad since I think 99. He's worked at all these high-end restaurants in Boston, Chicago, Napa Valley. Now he's doing chicken fingers and fries.
Yeah, but
4-9,
they're not your normal. I mean, it's a step up.
Yeah,
it's a step up.
Yeah,
my favorite thing there is that garlic, the roasted garlic.
It's killer
with the chutney and the burrata, right?
It's
ricotta.
Ricotta, yeah.
So, oh my gosh, I could eat that every day.
It's all about sharing. A lot of it is the sharing plates. It's not just an appetizer you get for yourself. The pizza, we're not a pizza restaurant.
No,
just so happened to put in a pizza oven and Stuart is very scientific with everything that he does. So he's always experimenting with the dough. How long are we fermenting the dough? Is it 4 days? Is it 5? Is it 3 days? Going from there. Same thing, with our pizza truck coming. We're creating a different dough for the pizza truck, and it's just trial and error. And that's every single thing that we do. But, when you walk into the Crown, when I used to be at the Crown quite a bit, I would go to the Chop House because the Chop House seems like a library compared to the Crown, and the Crown is just loud. You got the tile floors. People complain all the time about how loud it is, but in our eyes, it's the roar of people having a good time with their friends and their family. And we were going for the New York City vibe. And when you go into New York City, you don't you're not looking to, have a quiet dinner. You want to feel the hustle and bustle of the city.
Totally.
And that's kind of what we incorporated in with the Crown. So when you walk in, the bar's busy. There's people running around, but it's always organized chaos.
Yep.
And even with the patio, that might be your escape from the loudness.
We need to talk about that. The outside seating. I mean, the outside at the Crown Tavern, I think, is one of like the best outdoor venues around. It's gorgeous out there.
And we do a lot of weddings on Sundays when we're closed because it's a pillar spot to get married at. And some people actually get married to have the ceremony there and then the reception after because it's like, why not? It's beautiful. We do a good job. You don't feel like you're in the city unless a loud motorcycle goes by or whatever it is. But it's, it's fenced in and the lights and the trees, it's the landscaping is great.
It's like you're not in downtown Manchester.
No.
It's like you're in another, it's beautiful. It's very, very nice. And the little bar out there.
But we never wanted to be a seasonal restaurant that people just come here for the patio.
Right.
Because what happens in the winter, we close the patio down and you shrink the restaurant in half.
Right.
But we usually do the same numbers during the winter. It's just because it's the emphasis of turning the tables and getting a little bit more creative because our kitchen's rather small. We can't seat everyone inside and everyone outside. People will come in and be like, it's an hour wait. Well, you have a few empty tables. What's going on? It's like,
they don't understand sometimes.
The kitchen's getting destroyed right now. We want to make sure people that are sitting are not getting, a pizza in 50 minutes. We want to make sure that they're getting a pizza in 30 minutes or whatever it is. There's a science to everything because we've been burned in the past. We've tried to get too big for our britches and we seat everyone at once and all of a sudden we're like, all right, that was a bad idea. We got to control it. And that's what it starts with the host team. And how do you get good hosts? It's because it's a lot of high school kids or college kids, but you have to just monitor them and just come up with a script. And this is the script and this is what we do. We're not all about setting rules. We just have a little bit of a protocol and we promise you 30 minutes, but we can get you a drink while you wait. Or, just little things like that to make people feel comfortable. And then we go from there. Usually it's going to be 20 minutes instead of 30. I never say, what's underquote, then we're going to be a little bit more conservative so that they feel like
got it done a little bit sooner.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it's a busy restaurant.
When you talked about the hustle and bustle, my favorite part when I'm sitting at the Crown is when I turn around because I always like to turn and look into the kitchen. I love watching all that orchestra going on back there. And I love that the big table you have like right in front of the open kitchen. There's always people there. They're just bantering. It's just a great, I always look at that and I'm always like, look at them. I mean, everybody's having fun. There's a hustle and bustle and the wait staff is flying around. And it's a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
The food is and we've tried everything just about on the menu, everything. And it's just consistent every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time. Bartenders, they're great. Even the staff. I mean, Zach, I can't say enough about Zach. So yeah, you're definitely doing.
Everyone knows the difference between right and wrong there and starts with the kitchen, knowing that, okay, that's not plated correctly. That doesn't look like to our standards. So we know that that's wrong and we need to fix it.
Right.
Usually it's not someone telling them to fix it. They're like, I'm at the Crown. I work here. This is not to our standards. I need to fix it. And because if it does go out, then we eventually get burned and we can't do that. And so we just got to take our time with it and make sure that every single thing that we're doing is a step above of what we think, what we want when we go out.
Right. And this is kind of strange, but I want to also mention both of those places. Whenever you need to go use the bathroom, they are like so nice. The bathrooms are spotless and they're beautiful. I mean, your bathrooms they're gorgeous.
It's the basics, I think.
It is, nice, basics. Clean, I don't mean, well, yes, it's clean, but like clean line. You're right. It's basic but it's, I always walk in and I'm like, this is like such a nice bathroom.
We always say, or, during our pre-shift meetings, it's like every night we're hosting a house party at our own house. So when you have a house party, you're making sure that everything is clean because your house represents who you are. So we've all been here for a long time. We all have pride in this place. So we need to make sure, when you have a house party, you're making your bed, even though no one's going to see your bed. So this is the same thing with the kitchen.
So
no one's
true.
going to see the kitchen, but we got to make sure that it's extremely clean, because that sets the narrative for the night.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that I talk to, they're like, we come here because it's clean. It's like, well, how's the food? Well, it's clean. And we come here because it's clean, and we feel, safe here. And I'll take it. I'll take it. Because that's some easy stuff we can do.
Right.
Because before we start, we go around to every single table. So there's one crumb on the table.
Yeah, exactly. I tell the GMs, when you get to your store, you walk around the whole outside perimeter of the dine, make sure there's no blah, 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 and do the same thing when you get inside. I mean, same thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Very important. Very important. So the kitchen, when we moved back to Manchester, I grew up in Manchester. I was born here, raised here, moved out of town, but came back to Manchester. We live on River Road.
Oh, really?
Right in front of Stark Park. And of course, when the kitchen opened, I was like, oh my gosh, we love the kitchen. I'm always, not always, but it depends, different times of year, Our favorite thing there is the stuffed peppers.
Oh, really?
Stuffed peppers, right? Someone's like, well, don't you sell that at the diner? I'm like, yeah, we do, but they're so good. Oh my gosh, everything there is good. I've gone in to get some little salads. Another thing I really like over there is it's like fried chicken tenderloins, that you can take home and make your own, chicken parm or whatever. So I just eat them like that.
Yeah.
I love them. Yeah. So for those of you tuning in and don't know about the kitchen on River Road, let's talk about that.
We bought that in, I want to say 2021. I think it was November. And we went in, we were like, we're not going to totally change it, because it's already a staple in the neighborhood. So we're going to just slowly see how it goes. And then we'll slowly start making our little changes. And from there, we did a pretty big renovation, even though it's not that big of a place.
I love how you say it's the baby of the Crown, because it totally is. It's like you're walking into a mini Crown.
Yep. And we knew that it was a staple in the neighborhood. So you don't need to change a whole lot. We just wanted to add a little bit of our spin to it.
Your twist on it.
And from there, there's things on the menu that are new, and there's things on the menu that have always been there. And I think that's super important, because we're getting our clientele from the Crown and the Chop House over there, because they know that we sell our Crown pizzas over there. They know that the steaks in the butcher case are the same steaks we serve at the Chop House. They know, the chefs. We basically make not a lot of the food, but a good amount of the food at the Crown and the Chop House, and we send it over there, because it's only so big of a space to do a lot of that prep. Right. So the stuffed peppers are actually made at the kitchen, but a lot of those smaller things, all the breads, they're made, the pastry chef at the Chop House does them all. And so it's a community effort to open this place up. And we see a lot of our clientele, because a lot of our clientele for the Crown and Chop House are locals in Manchester, and they live in the North End. Mm-hmm. And so now we give them an opportunity to, hey, I don't want to go out tonight, but I can get something just quick.
Yeah. I'm driving home, and I'll call them, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to stop. What do you want? Stuffed peppers? What do you want me to check something else? Like the soups, or everything. It's just a great place. You can even go for lunch and get a sandwich, panini. Yep. Breakfast sandwiches, coffee. I've even gone in and got a bottle of wine. It's like a little, it's great.
Becky Stratton, that is the manager there. She actually started at the Crown. She was a bartender at the Crown. I don't know what kind of food experience or cooking experience she had before that, other than just at her own house. But having kids, and she couldn't work late nights anymore, we're like, why don't you go over to the kitchen and just see if you like it? And now she's doing a majority of the cooking there, and she's running that place, and she absolutely loves it.
And I see your dad back there in the kitchen quite a bit.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
I'm look at him back there.
It's for him. He's like, oh, I got to go over there and cook it, put out this catering order. But we all know that he likes doing
it. Exactly. My dad does the same thing. I know what you mean.
He'll complain, but he knows, that's
it keeps
what
him
else
going.
Is he going to be doing?
Keeps him going.
Exactly. And it has some kind of, it makes you feel part of the team.
Right.
I'm not over there.
And it's important to see him in there like that. People like to see that.
It's all about being hands-on. I would never for me, it's very tough being like the owner's son. And it's like, you can do, be relaxed and take all these days off. And it's like,
you have to be better than them.
You have to, when I first started, my dad's like, you have to work every single person out of a job. Like, so
Totally.
you got to identify who the next person is ahead of you, and you got to make sure that you're doing a better job than them and doing more work than them. And then eventually you'll have their position, because that's how he started. Yeah. And so I kind of taken that and just ran with it that way. And now it's just being like, our name is on the building. It's just this sense of pride. And you want to make sure like, every review is great. Or if it's not, it's like you're making the phone call to that person and apologizing and seeing what we can do better. There's a lot of just ownership day after day after day. That it's the little things that you need to be doing.
Love it. I love it. This has been an absolute pleasure getting to know you, meeting you, getting to know you and talking to you. And like I said, I'm going to say it again, you are wise beyond your years. Your mom and dad should be very proud. I'm sure they are. I always like to end with you must go out to eat, of course. We're in the restaurant business. So I know my husband and I are big foodies, love trying new places. But in this area, what are your favorite places to go?
I love Cotton. I'm walking distance to Cotton, so we don't go out a whole lot. We do a lot of our cooking ourselves, but when we do, we go to Cotton, Puerto Vallarta for margarita,
and we like that too.
For alas fritas, like just simple stuff. But I like to stay low key, but I do have a lot of friends in the industry, and I like to go support them. So I go to Evolution, and Evolution's same price point as the Chop House, but I want to go there not necessarily to see what they're doing,
but support 1,000%.
And my girlfriend hates it because most of the time we're just talking to people that work there. I love Stash Box as well.
Yeah, fun, quirky,
and that's what I don't. When I go out, it's like, why my friends are like, why don't you just go to the Crown and the Chop House? I'm like, because I've been there for so long.
No.
I want to.
People will be like, why don't you eat at the diner? I'm like, well, first of all, there's no alcohol.
Yeah, right.
Second of all, no.
Yeah. I don't want to feel like I'm at work still. I want to go somewhere else. And there's a lot of good restaurants and good people running restaurants in this city. And it's a really good community that we have a great knowledge of what it takes to make Manchester a better place.
Totally.
So it's not just we're all in our own little world doing our own thing. We know that we are a big part of bringing in a great group of people into the city that will eventually transform the city to a better place. And that's what we're trying to do.
Wow. We can end right on that note. This was really good. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, very much.